I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Welcome to a special Wednesday edition of North Vernon City Council. July 15th meeting. We'll begin with roll call.
Mayor Vernon.
Present.
Jack Kelly.
Not here.
Barry Wilder.
Present.
Andrew Fletch. Here. Pat Kirk.
Here.
Jared Davis.
Here.
Larry Greathouse. Myself.
Thank you, Charlie. Let's go.
Jack sent me a text that he had another meeting. He'll be late. Maybe we'll be here.
Yes, thank you. Have you had a chance to review minutes from our June 22nd meeting? If so, I'd entertain a motion to approve. Jared makes the motion to approve the meeting. Andrew seconds. Any comments? Call for a vote. All in favor, show of hands. All opposed, likewise. Motion carries 4-0. Next agenda item, Mr. Wayne Stearns.
Can't hear, hold you.
Yes.
You're up, Mr. Stearns.
Thank you. Bob Giddens and I would like to work on a project with the city's blessing. And we want to devote some hours to it. And we want some space allotted for a time capsule. And Bob and Stephanie own the Brick Street Cafe, and they've got all afternoon to work on it. Oh, really? Where the Veterans Monument is right now in front of the old police station, there's about a 60-foot square right there that is got mostly grass, but it's got the monument, it's got flags, and on the west side of the monuments, between the old city hall and the monuments, there's a gap right there in the grass. And that's where my brother and I, 10 years ago, planted a time capsule for the 200th anniversary of Indiana. And now we're looking at the 250th anniversary of the U.S. of America. And we want to plant a better time capsule. We learned a lot from 10 years ago that we could have incorporated. And Bob and Stephanie want to make it even better than what we had before. And besides us three, I have 4 more volunteers that want to put time in on it. And I thought about who should lead this effort. And these guys got their hands full. You can't even find a parking place over there sometimes. But I would like the mayor to...
Since he wasn't here, I was...
No. I know your plate's full too. I would like the mayor to donate his secretary to be the focal point so that we could bring this effort right to the council and right to the city. And I don't think it would cost the city very much, maybe nothing, but maybe as much as $2,000, but we'll probably get donations. The last time we did it, several people. Lee's donated the concrete that we set for the marker, and my brother and I donated a 15-inch pipe, 13-foot long, and it was so heavy we could not pick it up. The backhoe had to pick it up. And so there's all kinds of ideas you can put inside that pipe. It's just unbelievable when you start thinking about it, what it could be, what we should look like. But it's a snapshot of North Vernon. Vernon right now. And some of those snapshots will be, for example, of every business in town. We need to have a hard copy, not a digital copy, but a hard copy on photographic paper. And also a picture of our city council at 250 years. Our county council at 250 years. Bob wants a drone picture of downtown North Vernon. All of our business leaders need to be photographed, put in there. For example, Richard Abson, just take one example. Another one, Dave O'Mara. Another one, the Harmons. Those people are what our lawyers do. They're transforming the city. And it is really in flux right now. So it'd be a shame not to capture that. And our quarry, every teacher and principal in the county should be photographed. Crosby last time gave us a very good history that we put inside the time capsule. And the police department should have a picture in there. And the police department gave us several mementos last time too, and the most impressive memento that they gave us was a stun gun. And who will remember one of those? And who will remember a stick cell phone or a brick cell phone? And a copy of all the papers around us, the Columbus Republic, the Plain Dealer, the Madison, Seymour, all of those should be in there, along with ads, how much tomatoes cost, how much potatoes cost, et cetera, et cetera. When you look back on it 100 years, you're going to go, really? And for what it costs us, it's nothing. So, right where, I don't know, you guys are talking it over right now about what to do with the police station and the Veterans Monument. I think it's right in the center of town already. It's our grassy knoll almost. So to bury the new one there would just be perfect. But if you have a better location, the one my brother and I put, it's that 13-foot pipe with caps glued on the end. It will be in perfect shape 100 years from now, or 90. But this is not something the city should back away from.
Charlie, I'd let the minutes reflect that the chair of the 250th anniversary time capsule just arrived at the meeting.
I was at another meeting, I'm sorry.
You've been volunteered. I think the only thing I would caution to your point, Wayne, is we do have our engineer looking at, we're obviously going to take down the old police station and looking into maybe reworking and adding some parking areas. So I would encourage council to support your efforts and get on board without making any promises to where this will be until we get that worked out.
Well, we're going to need a little financial support, but not much. We're going to do the grassroots labor, and there's 4 volunteers besides us 3 that are going to be involved in it. And Bob knows all about the first one that my brother and I did 10 years ago, and he wants to be involved right from the very beginning.
Okay. Well, I'd be happy, my office would be happy to help coordinate.
Would your secretary, your assistant, have that kind of time?
She's got her hands full at the moment, so I don't want to make any promises on her behalf. Do you have a date in mind when you would like to have this buried?
No. This whole year is our 250th, and we've already missed July the 4th. So
Certainly by the end of the year would be appropriate then.
yeah. Any time this year would be appropriate.
Okay. Council, any questions or comments? Is there anything specific from a motion standpoint you're looking for tonight, Wayne?
Pardon?
Is there any specific thing from a motion standpoint other than just a nod that
Well,
you'll have the council
Bob
support?
and Stephanie might have some input here.
Okay.
I think one thing that we would need probably would be a photographer to coordinate, and we'd have to make a list of people for them to get pictures of. That would be one thing I could see that we would need somebody to do. Anybody can do that almost with a cell phone now, but somebody that organize that, needs to work on that.
Yeah.
We gotta bring all this stuff together with all the volunteers and bring it to a focal point. And that's why we thought this building would be the obvious focal point.
I would like to say, Main Street would probably be interested in helping out on that, and that's Autumn Miller Moore.
That's a great suggestion.
And, they have capable of taking pictures and so forth like that. They have a lot of input.
Yeah, she would be motivated to do it.
And they meet once a month, every third Thursday at 5 o'clock down at the, Pickle building. I don't know if you know where that is. Next to the Pickle building, next to the train station.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the meeting is. The third Thursday.
Old name check.
Yeah, I know.
Some of these guys don't know that.
Jack knows he's around what?
Yeah, I've been around a while, Jeff.
Larry knows it.
I'm familiar with all things pickles, so I know.
So what we would be asking without knowing how much would be a small dedication in money. It might be as great as 1,000, but I can't see it being much more than that because we're all probably going to donate our own time and some finances each.
So I think we can support that. Easy enough.
I'll have my office early next week start to coordinate a group of who's going to take this and run. So we'll reach out and get something set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you guys for volunteering for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Brian Bailey, you're up. St. Mary's road closure request. Yes, sir.
Brian Bailey here on behalf of St. Mary's Parish. Requesting for a road closure for our upcoming community festival would be Friday, September 11th, and Saturday, September 12th. We're requesting the following roads to be closed from Wednesday, September 9th through Sunday, September 13th. There's going to be on the sheet you guys have, Washington Street from Pierce to Madison, which is Street 1, Clay Street from Scott to Washington. It's along the church, then Street 2, and then the alley between the Parish Center and the Adoration Chapel. Starting at the parking lot, going to the back of the Adoration Chapel. This still allows the residents at 619 and 625 North Madison Avenue still to access the property. So we respectfully ask that you support these closures if you have any questions.
Questions for Brian?
I think you ought to also mention that the school will set up pickups around the street closures. Right, for St. Mary's School.
You mean the, I don't know what's going on with the school.
Pardon me?
I don't know anything about what's going on at the school, so I'm only here on behalf of the
I
festival.
understand that. Well,
They typically reroute that.
right, the public needs to know that that's rerouted. I mean, you might mention it to the school.
I'm sure all the schools have.
Yeah.
I think actually the reason St. Mary starts a day or two before public schools is because they actually close a couple of those days.
I think so,
Yeah. Okay, with that, then, do we have a motion to approve St. Mary's request for those dates? Jared makes the motion. Pat seconds the motion. Questions, comments? All in favor, show of hands. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you. Marie?
You next.
We'll begin with the major subdivision plat on behalf of Oscar and Evelyn Elsner Commerce or Commercial Park, excuse me.
So Bill Bennett was supposed to be here, I don't know if he's on the late. Do you wanna push him into the back?
Yeah, we can move on. You've got several tonight, so we'll move that to the bottom of the list, that'll be fine.
So.
So, next on the list is the rezone of Brookside Drive.
So I have Sarah Ford's here, representing Wallet Development, and then Joe and Morgan's here, the owners of the property. So I'll just go over the basics and then kind of let them answer the questions that you have. You have your packet, it has all the plans, site plan. This is a request to rezone from agricultural to residential multifamily at Brookside Drive. And the parcel numbers on there as well as the map. Recommendations from the essential service and area plan was to approve it. And we did have a neighbor that attended the area plan meeting. Pat obviously was there, but they were questioning, I think a lot of it seemed to be questioning the drainage part. And Pat assured them that that was something that probably would be taken care of anyway. The other thing that was a question of essential service was another access or, well, in and out point other than just on, Henry, yeah, because that was right past the nursing home, and obviously there's some housing there. So I think that was up for discussion as well, even maybe talking about the limits of the port side. But anyway, that's kind of the legits of what happened with those two meetings. So probably if Sarah wants to come up and answer probably more detailed questions.
And my comments were on the storm water issue with the neighbors, that with the detention areas, it's only going to improve the flow of water going over their property and slow it down. We've seen that in our subdivision out there, what it's done for that, just having detention areas. So that would only improve their issues they brought up. And then also the city needs to look at what they can do to improve the drainage issues on the streets they have at the end of the subdivision. So we could actually tie in maybe their detention area and kill two birds with one stone.
And yeah, hi everybody. My name is Sarah Ford. I'm Vice President of Development for Wallet. We're a multi-family housing developer based out of Columbus, Ohio. And so yes, the request is to rezone from agriculture to allow for the proposed 44-unit multi-family housing development. We're still very early on. We are right now just trying to obtain our financing, which as part of our financing application, we need to be able to demonstrate that we have proper zoning. So that's kind of the reason for the request tonight. But
We still have to obtain that financing later this year, and then we would begin the closing process. So, permit set of plans, full civil engineering drawings, all of that would come early to kind of like spring of 2027. We would, work through any drainage issues at that time prior to closing and starting construction, and construction will commence in spring 2027 as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Marie, just as a reminder to council, that the approval of the rezone is not approved at the final site plans, that is in the future. Drainage site plans, et cetera, would still get approved.
By the council?
No, but by site.
Yeah, they would still go through their permitting process, which would address all that.
Okay.
Is the request to rezone just the 4 or 5 acres in that southwest corner, or is it the entire parcel?
Yeah, so at that area plan, I think we came to the conclusion it would be for the entire parcel.
So if I'm not mistaken here, if we approve that entire parcel, which is, how many acres is that, 10 or 11? 11. If we approve that, and this facility goes in, and at some point you determine to add an additional facility, it does not come back to the city of Mount Vernon. That property can be developed in whatever fashion, correct?
Just zoning though, right? They would still have to get plans approved. They wouldn't have to get any kind of drainage plan or anything.
I mean, through area plan, but not through
Oh,
the
through
commission.
council, okay.
Yes, that would all be handled through the area plan commission and not through the city council.
They would still have to meet all the requirements, but that does open it up to multi-family, so there could be additional apartments or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yes. There was discussion about just doing the 3 or 4 acres, but that's not how it's advertised, and not that you can't say that, but there's no survey done at this point, so we have nowhere to really mark those, where that is going to be exactly. So I guess that's up to the council, and I think your wish was to just go ahead and do the whole.
Yeah,
Is it time
constraints.
constraints?
Yeah.
But we don't have any plans.
Part of the issue I had with just doing so many acres, was when they get into final design, and they need another acre, they're gonna have to come back and add another acre at that point, because we don't know all these detention areas until this is all fully designed. They may need a lot bigger detention area. So it may take up more acreage than what this drawing showing. So that was my concern, is by limiting the area, you're causing a lot of problems there, so. And then if they did double, all they could do is about a double. I mean, you look at another thing for that's about all the area you got left. And if you used all of it, because you still have a lot more detention areas to build in the future. So.
Well, if they don't do another 44 unit and they put in 20 duplexes, I don't know, to make it double. I'm concerned about the traffic that's gonna either A, go through Henry, or B, have to connect through Brookside Estates. I mean, that's the most I've heard, is the concern from people that live in Brookside Estates on those 2 roads that end right there at the edge of these property. Their concern is that we're gonna introduce how many cars, daily that's gonna be going through that neighborhood.
Joe, you're not also on the property to the south, and you could also.
Yeah, that's what I was, can I go
there?
over and answer a couple questions? So we do own another parcel south of that butts up to O&M. And we talked about that at area plan, but that's what we bought that for. And in case we needed more access. Now, with what she's proposing now, I don't know that obviously that's up to you, but I don't know that it's necessary. If we decided to do another 44 unit complex or build houses for that matter, they're probably, and right now we don't know what we're doing, we're making things. Something will happen eventually, nothing in the near future, but that is the reason we bought that 5 acre. It's a shotgun lot. There's not a whole lot more you can do with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive to put a road in, but it's an option.
Yeah.
So I don't think if that becomes a concern for fire or police in the future, if we do propose another development, then that is definitely an option. Not saying it's feasible or anything like that, but it's there's not a whole lot more you can do with it than to build a road or a house. It's
Sure.
so skinny.
So right now, the plan is to only go into Henry.
I think connecting that with Brookwater, Henry and Brookwater would be an easier option too, just so you have a loop and two entrances from public safety standpoint.
It was kind of, we've been talking about this for a while, and
There are options.
There is, and to me, that was one of the best options I was in, but I don't want to make those residents mad. I know that's, but there's not gonna be, whether we put homes in there, whether we put apartments in there, they're gonna have the same traffic, because they're not proposing 150 units, they're proposing 44, and you can put that many houses in that. I mean, there's enough room there to put that many houses in there, so it's not gonna affect the traffic anymore than single-family homes. But at the same time, that is a concern for people who are living there, so.
Well, to be upfront with those people, like I said, you bought a house in a subdivision that has a lot of land right behind it.
Yeah.
That you had to think was gonna get developed.
Well, exactly, something's gonna happen there, whether it's good, somebody does it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a
But there is-
sticking issue.
There is three pretty good options to create even 3 more access points or exit points to get it out of there if it's needed.
I was gonna say, if there was another, if they come back with another development of some sort, that would all be discussed through Tim and, this, department heads that we deal with anyway, the street department, all that. We'd never move forward without having looked at that first as part of the plan review process.
Is there anyone in the crowd who wants an opportunity to speak out against this rezone before we call for a vote tonight?
I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, Jeff.
Do you have I know we'll get into the final planning phase as far as building and that kind of thing, but in lieu of the traffic count, do you think you're building primarily 2-bedroom, 1-bath units, or 4, or 3, or 1?
You named it, there's all 3 in there, there's several 3-bedroom, right?
Yeah, there's 10 2-bedrooms and 34 3-bedrooms proposed currently.
So to your point, it could be similar to a ranch-style house that are typically 3 or more.
Sure, it's gonna be families, and that was one of the concerns too, with all the crazy being there, disrupting that, I guess, but, they'll probably enjoy seeing some families, seeing some activity go on, but, each their own, but, it is a family style deal, it's not a bunch of, condos or a bunch of, 1-bedroom, studio style apartments where I think
Auto Trace did receive a notice, and they have not reached out with this.
Is this a 144 unit, or is there going to be several units, or how's that set up?
Yeah, so right now we're proposing 2 walk-up style buildings.
Pardon me?
2 walk-up style buildings, so
Okay.
they'll be split between the 2 buildings, and then we have some community space as well, both in the buildings and exterior as well. We're proposing some community gardens, playground, things of that nature as well.
That's going to be developed into community gardens and playgrounds?
That's correct, yeah.
So is this, what type of, is it low income, medium income, or what are you,
workforce.
Yeah.
So,
pardon me?
it's workforce housing, so,
Workforce housing.
yeah, not asking the city for any money, and also whoever's renting there pays their full rent. It's not Section 8, it's not their low income, it's nothing like that. It's workforce housing, so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but 3-bedroom rents were gonna be 14, roughly.
Yeah, just under 14.
They're still designing, but they're gonna be roughly $1,400 a month for a 3-bedroom. What would it vary from $800 a month to $1,400 a month? So it's considered workforce housing through the state, but around here, with rent prices and that, it's pretty well on par with market rate.
So are you developing it yourselves, or?
Wallach is developing it.
Okay, so who's going to own it?
Wallach,
Okay, who's going to be in charge of upkeep on it?
that's Wallach. Yeah, they've got their budgets in there. They've budgeted $40,000 a year for the maintenance. which I believe will be contracted. They have their own management team that works on site, but they will contract that out to a local, a rock organ or
I
somebody.
guess what I'm concerned, that, 10 years down the road, I don't want it to start.
Well, it can. That is one good thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, but the state will do inspections, yearly inspections on this for 15 years. So
The property and
correct.
everything.
They cannot, yes, because since they're involved in the financing, they will inspect that property every year for 15 years.
Yeah, but Brookside Estates it's been there for 15 years and it's been kept up really nice. We sure don't want to ruin that image for it.
Absolutely. Well, I know they're developing it, but I assure you that was a very big concern. We've been trying to do something here for a couple of years, and financially, it's never made sense. The market rate, it was going to be a huge ask for the city, and this kind of falls right in place for getting something that we need here without costing the city a bunch of tax money.
Yes.
It's going to create a lot of tax revenue for the city. $40,000-$50,000 a year instead of $500 or $600. But it will be kept up. It has to. It's not a choice, and this is a great option. The city needs it, in my opinion. And for the housing study, the city really needs this. And this is a huge opportunity for the city to get that without it costing you guys any money, or costing the taxpayers any money at all. So to me, great opportunity.
Will the entire parcel will be maintained, even though, the unit will set in that corner, but the entire property will be maintained, mowed?
That would be, the other 6-7 acres would be on me.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and obviously, right now it's a field. If there are people living in the field, then I'm gonna have to maintain it better than the field. So, but that would be on me. I think their responsibility would just be for wherever it's surveyed for their parcel is 3-4 acres. It's roughly 4 acres.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
yep.
Thank you. Do we need a motion?
We would need a motion to approve the rezone. Yes, sir.
I'll make the motion to rezone.
Pat makes the motion to approve the rezone from agricultural to residential multifamily. Jared seconded that motion. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Next, we'll move on to the rezone request at 327th Street on behalf of Jeremy Oaks.
Yep, so, again, 327th Street, Jeremy Oaks has bought that property, it passed with the central service and area plan. Mainly, this property is just to bring it in compliance. There's, as you can see, attached to the picture, there's an old mobile home setting there. It was zoned multi-family or residential 2-family. And I don't know why, but it's just to really bring it into compliance. He plans on building that.
Yeah, 1,200 square foot home.
So it will definitely make a lot of improvements to that point.
Is the mobile home still there?
Yes.
It is.
Yes, it is. And we'll be getting that money.
Any further questions for Jeremy or Marie on this parcel? It seems to make it a little easier choice than the last one.
I'll make a motion to accept the rezone.
Second.
Jared makes the motion to approve the rezone request. Andrew, was that you? Andrew makes the motion, or seconds said motion. If no other questions, I'll call for vote. All in favor? All opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Okay, Marie, if we can move on to the 760 South State Street.
So, this property, again, 760 South State Street, Trent Wisner purchased the property, and we found out through research on the recorders that there was a covenant that was a restricted covenant that was signed, and you have a copy of it. There was one dated, the 13th of December of 2002 for that property to be, remain as a floral shop or revert back to residential. There was an amendment covenant done on the 30th December 2002 that took that out, that just stated that you would have to have the jurisdiction's approval to remove that covenant. That is about all I can tell you about it. I can't find minutes on that. I know Ruth is here, but all I can tell you, it was signed by the property owners, it was prepared by Brad, and it was recorded.
So this didn't come up in a title search when you're trying to purchase the property, or you knew about it going in, or no? Come on up for old time's sake.
So basically, we bought this as running as a floral shop. So when we went through closing on it, a lot of documents, a lot of going through, there was one. It just said, you know, going to be used as floral shop, so we signed it. Upon trying to figure out if we're going to run a flower shop, we realized we don't have anybody to run one. Parents moved to Madison, my daughter graduated. So then we decided we're just going to put it up for sale. That's when it came up. I think Ruth contacted Marie. I contacted Marie before she goes, I'm not sure, I don't know anything about it. So then we started doing some digging, and there actually was multiple, I don't know, it was rezoned in November of 2020, or November 25th, 2002. Then there was a restricted covenant, so I assume it got rezoned. And then they went ahead and did the covenant to help appease the neighbors. And then it got recorded again with the other amendment that took out the residential and just left it as needs to be changed by the legislative body. You know, right now it's been commercial single site for a quarter of a century, 25 years. It's been a commercial property. It's got all asphalt parking lot. It's got a ADA concrete ramp. There is no yard besides a small section up front that's not out of the easement. You know, to say it can only be used as a floral shop is a key example of why we, you know, I always had a hard time doing a single use zoning on this, or a conditional use. There's no way that that property can convert back to residential. I mean, it's a 5,900 square foot lot. The small retail that is zoned under Marie, we'll talk about that a little more. We're restricted on what we can even put in there. I heard mention of a body shop. We can't do that. We can't have any outside storage. It would be, we have roughly 8 to 9 parking spots there. It's got to be a law office, an insurance, a retail like a floral shop. But to say it has to be a floral shop, I mean, I guess I don't understand how a floral shop would have less traffic or be less intrusive on the neighbor than an insurance company with 2 insurance agents. I wish that this wasn't an issue, and I wish I could make the neighbors happy, and I'd do whatever I could to make them happy, other than turn it into a house. It just is not set up to be a residence. You look at it, I got pictures in there. It is asphalt all the way around the building. I mean, there's no kitchen, there's no way of turning it back into residence. I would not sell it to anybody that would be unneighborly. Now, granted, that being said, whoever I sell it to can resell it in a couple of years, and I have no control over that. So I mean, I think everybody knows that. We went through the essential service meeting, not an issue. We went through county or area plan, and I think they realized that they didn't have anything to do with it, so they wanted to throw their hands up and say, yeah, let's go ahead and let council do it because it's not a rezone, it just has to do with restricted covenants. So that's why they were a no vote on it. You know, so then it came to you guys. Again, I'm willing to answer any questions. I mean, I'd be willing more than anything to work with Mrs. Reitman on anything, let her see the potential buyers, but it's my understanding it is a house or nothing by them. It's just quarter century. It's a 2-lane highway when that happened. I've listed out all the other properties. Brad Cage's in the same instance. His is set up the same way. He built that as a law office, and he's going to have to go through the same process. He sells that. I don't know what happened back in the early 2000s why they did this. We got Harmon's across the street that's the house. We got Mark Doves right down the road that's the house. We got Gene Russell that's the house. I mean, these are all on South State, all intersecting streets. So I think it's a perfect spot to keep commercial single side. And you know, granted, we'd love to see somebody buy it as a real estate, you know, office, insurance office, something less intrusive. not a lot of traffic going through. It's just like these buildings downtown, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of traffic going through. It needs to be set up for a certain purpose. So all we're here is, we don't need a rezone, we just need to restrict the covenant.
Questions for Trent?
Yes.
I'll give her a chance. Okay. Trent, any questions for Trent first, and then we'll allow Mr. Reisman to speak?
I'll speak a little bit. I did make 3 trips down there today.
Okay.
And looked at it, and I was struggling with it.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it and looked at it, I could see nobody with any right mind is gonna buy it for a business needs more area. It's gonna be somebody with a lawyer office, or it's gonna be somebody small, and they only got 8 parking spots.
Yeah.
So I could see the point of keeping commercial.
Yeah, and like I said, I would hope that is the case, because to me, if I were next door as a neighbor, I wouldn't want to have a residence there. It's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't know if they've got animals, you don't know how many vehicles they have. I want somebody that's there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 7 to 4, not working weekends. We heard that parking was an issue at the area plan. We heard that there was vehicles in the alley that would block Terry Thompson's ingress into that. I mean, I got pictures. There's vehicles in the alleys right now. There's none of them are part of that. So, you know, we actually own another 7.5 foot past that fence into that alley. And we say it's an alley, but really it's plotted as an alley, but there's a 2-car garage at the end of it. So if it's an alley, it's a drive-through garage for it to continue on. So, well, let's let Ms. Reitman speak. And like I said, I'm willing to do anything that I can to resolve it, but I'm just here that they get that restricted covenants removed.
Ms. Reisman?
Well, I'm thoroughly against him, as you can understand that. The reason they got this amended covenant, and I have been here, there's no anything in the minutes that they approved it here. There's nothing at the courthouse. So how this amended covenant got put in here 2 weeks after it was voted to make it a floral shop with only going back to residential, I have no idea. Somebody under the table has evidently done that, because nobody knows. Nobody's got any minutes on it. It's never been brought up to anybody. The one that from here states, which I came in and got today, it was approved as only a floral shop or goes right back to residential if it is sold. And they approved it. Well, 2 weeks later, somehow or another, there's an amendment to it, and nobody knows where it came from. Now, he says, I agree, there's not much yard. But I moved from the county out in the country, and all I wanted was a little tiny yard because I was tired of mowing 6 acres. And I got it. And if I had a chance to buy that house and I had lived out in the country and I didn't want much yard, oh man, I'd take it in a minute because it's not that much yard. The neighbors was mad at my husband and I when we decided to go along with the floral shop, because nobody wanted the business up there. Now, he says, yeah, I understand there's a beauty shop wanting to do it. It could be a lawyer's office. It could be anything like that. But now, wait a minute. They sell it. I might be next to a tattoo shop, a smoke shop, because it's commercial. And I don't think any of the neighbors would approve of it. Most of the houses around are rented anyway. We have no problems. I'm really against it being taken off and being made commercial for retail for whatever. Because it's going to make my house, the value of it, not as good as what it would be if it's residential. So, you know, I think that since do they have the amended copy there, Marie?
They do, but tonight, we're just here because that's not an option to turn it back to residential unless Trent was to rezone it. The only thing you're here tonight to decide is to remove that that restricted covenant on it. And that is to allow it to be a commercial single site and not just a flower shop. Again, I can't explain, I wasn't here during that time, I don't know. I talked to Brad today, he doesn't remember, why it was done. I don't have any answers, and she's correct, I can't find minutes how it happened. I compared signatures, it looks legit, it was recorded, Walter said he signed it, that's all I can tell you. Why it was done, I cannot tell you. And it was notarized. I did talk to Ruth today. I told her that obviously there are some restrictions to what can go in there for our zoning ordinance. Anybody that goes in there has to come in and get a business permit. But, it has to be sitting inside, it has to have no outside storage, but I can't control what goes in it, even if Trent sells it and that person sells it. There's some limitations in it, we can't do it.
So get a business permit and then go through your office.
Yes.
And you approve it or disapprove it, is that correct?
So they have to fill out an application, we do an inspection of the building, make sure there's adequate parking and all of that before we issue the business permit. Again, it can't be a gas station, it can't be a garage, it can't be anything like that because that's commercial business. That allows you to do gas stations and things like this. The way it's not office, which we do have that zoning, but very few of our zones is office, but it would fit the plan for single sites. I understand the frustration, but it's.
Yeah, and I see both sides of the issue. Obviously, the board back in 2002 had a different perspective and whatever discussions took place in that. Since that time, there have been more commercial places that have been moved over into residential. Mentioned Harmon Construction, they bought a house that is now a parking lot. They have a house that is an office that's there. And there is several through there, like was mentioned in this, and it would not make sense for it to potentially go back to residential at cost prohibitive timeline. I personally feel for the Reitman family in that situation, but I think I feel confident with area plans, approval process that they have to go through for what a commercial single site business would be, as well as our code enforcement that we have on the city's staff that would be able to monitor that to make sure that it fits the business description and the legalities that are allowed to participate there. So we have our own code enforcement officer that works in the city of Vernon. I mean, with those things in mind, I'm of mind to move forward with removing the restriction. That's not
I would like to say also, as a business, it's going to be well kept up very well. As a house, you never know what's going to happen. They can move in and just junk it out. You never know what's going to happen. A business is going to be well kept for people to come into and operate. So, again, I'm fair on this too, also.
In a perfect world, instead of removing it, you would almost add to it, and you could add a list of insurance agents, attorneys, et cetera, and eliminate tattoo shops and vape shops and that sort of thing.
I'd say it until they can discuss that.
Well, then I did complicate it actually.
I would just like to say that's the reason we're in this. I mean, I think city council's job is not to say what goes in it, it's that to deal with this commercial single site. I'm not selling to a tattoo shop, I'm not saying that's what's what, so I understand the frustration. The reason we get into these things is for that reason. I mean, who's educated enough to say that, hey, a flower shop is good there, but this isn't? I mean, it's one of if the business comes in, it fits the commercial single site, it fits the retail under 10,000 square foot, it has the parking spots, we know we got 8, then I think all these restrictions are what muddies everything up. Granted, I agree with that, but I think you're gonna find out, Brad Page goes back in here to figure out the same thing. I mean, these restrictions were, that's done at the zoning level. I mean, it should have never been rezoned if that's the case. And it's zoned commercial single site. I mean, it is, has been zoned that for 25 years, there hasn't been a problem for 25 years. So I think that to say it can't, I mean, I don't know if you can do that through a business permit standpoint, say we're not gonna do that, but I think starting to put all these restrictions all over a commercial single site that's already restricted, or a retail under 10,000 square foot that's already restricted, then I don't know why we have classifications.
That's what I was gonna say. We have the commercial single site versus commercial plan, and that's the way that we as a county have set up and how to manage that. I don't want to get into managing what can and cannot be.
Well, and a lot of times people call, but well, what's the permitted use? Well, that can get you in as much trouble as just leaving it open and saying, does it meet these qualifications? Because there's many things out there, and there's all the time, there's something else coming up, and where does that fit in? And so I don't, this fits the permitted use. And it doesn't allow outside storage, everything has to be inside. When you look at our ordinance and it states different businesses, it tells you what the requirements are for those businesses, parking and different things. So, I mean, it is spelled out in a way, but I just think we get into when we start saying, okay, this is the restriction, then we're going to be right back in here with somebody else. I mean,
Except we're gonna have minutes.
we'll have minutes, but,
So I've been quiet for 10 minutes and everybody knows I've got to stop the call. So I was looking over all this today, and in my opinion, it's currently zoned commercial. It's been commercial for 25 years. Their value tomorrow is commercial will be no different than the value of today. We have things in place that have been, if a unsatisfactory commercial business were to go in there, we have things in place at the city level and the county level that protects people around them.
Well,
But
yeah, I
when
say that we had no idea that it had been changed.
Yeah.
Nobody ever notified us all these years, and even the people that work with sisters said, no, if it's not a floral shop, it goes back to residential.
And I absolutely
nobody-
understand your concern. If I was you, I'd be concerned. But in real estate, when we look at zoning and we look at properties and how it should be zoned or how it should be valued, in the appraising world, there's a term called highest and best use. And Larry can speak to that. But Trent's highest and best use is commercial single site. His value would be drastically different if it were residential. And it may not even qualify for financing. It may not be able to be sold residential, depending on the improvements they've done in the building over the last 25 years. It may not be able to be appraised or sold residentially. Whereas her value, I don't think necessarily affected because it's been commercial for the last 25 years. And it's worth more, your house is worth more than it was in 2001, 100%.
Well, that depends upon what was installed.
Right. But if anything would question whether we have things in place that stop questionable businesses from going in any location inside city limits.
I mean, again, from a personal level, it doesn't matter from there, and I don't even know if it's right on being care. I would literally show her anybody that's interested. I mean, I would love that we walk away with this and everybody feels comfortable. I don't think that's gonna happen, I think it's residential or nothing, I hate that. But again, I mean, my hope is to bring somebody that's a good neighbor. That would be a better neighbor than a residential right next to it. And I'm an open book with it. And again, I would share everything with her. So I want her to feel just as comfortable. But my goal is just to remove the restriction. Who knows what a floral shop is? How much flowers you gotta sell to call a flower shop before you sell other stuff in the back. So I never agreed with that.
So the request is still on the table. We would need a motion to remove the restrictive covenants at 760 South State Street.
I like that motion.
Jared makes the motion to remove the restriction.
I'll second.
Vernon seconds the motion. All in favor, show of hands. All opposed, likewise. Motion carries 5-0.
and I did, talked to Ruth, and I told her I would keep as much for informed as I could, and, you know, obviously I can't take care of it, you know, I get it as a neighbor, their concerns, and I will work with those residents.
And the city will as well. If you have any issues when someone comes in there, you contact us, we have.
No, if somebody parks in my private parking, I'm just gonna call a record and pull it away. Way it's gonna be. I've had to do that before for the flower shop next door, so I can easily just call a record and say, hey, they're on my private property, pull them out.
I understand, we're here to help you in any way we can.
Marie, let's touch base on your I-1 request.
I got, well, evidently he's not coming, so do you want to do the else?
We can go ahead and do the Elster first then. Okay.
So we've been working on this project with the plat review committee for quite some time. And they have provided everything we need for a major subdivision. The only thing now left is this APC passed it, Central Service passed it. I think there's a potential one lot has been sold, depending on the rezone. Again, this is a PUD, so anything that goes in there, you guys have that approval to look at that. It's not like just regular commercial, it's a PUD, so you have the final say. So right now, your final, what you're approving tonight is the plat that was submitted. So if anything was to go in there, you would also, that would be before you as well. But I can't tell you, I was told it was a gas station at this point.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more development out that side of town. I hope that by approving this, if it gets approved by the board, that we're able to attract companies and whatnot.
I will bring up the letter from NDOT. As we know, Love's was turned down a few years ago because of access. This letter is only stating that there's access there. There may be special requirements that they have to meet, lane restrictions or turning. I mean, none of that has been figured out yet, but they will allow that access if the road they have upon them. So, Lord, and the property.
So, do you know if the city or the county will be involved in like passing lanes and so forth like that? They put in access roads. Who is in charge of it?
I'm assuming that would be through NDOT.
Well, I know we had a factory that we had to. Pardon me?
It's not an our tip.
Right.
So it's a county TIF, city property.
Right, that's what I was asking, county or city, but
Yeah, but NDOT would be the one to recommend or
I just want to make sure that we're not under. Everyone have to
Well, the
finance. That's what
And that will have a say over what the developer's required to do.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll try to put
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve this.
Mayor makes a motion to approve the zone to PDMX. Jack seconds the motion.
No, not the rezone, it's for the plat.
To approve the plat. Okay.
You've already approved the rezone.
Yeah, the PD, okay. My mistake. Okay, if no other questions, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? Opposed? 401, Jared abstains.
You guys.
Jared abstains. And now we'll do our software upgrade, Marie.
Okay, so, we have iWorks, and we've had iWorks since 2020, and the software has been working wonderful for us. Elise has now, she uses it, she takes pictures, uploads all her pictures on there, uses it for notes for her cases. It's been very nice for that concept as well as we share with CSL, kind of the same thing, because they take all our pictures out there. That way Elise can, monitor her grass violations and Again, she takes all our pictures, which it's been a very good partnership. I have to say, she keeps us informed, and she turns all the complaints in. She did tell me today, just in 2026, she's turned in 107 complaints. So once she turns those in, then we handle them, and then she takes the pictures. So because it's the new laws that are passed, we have to do things a little bit differently in our office, and you'll kind of see in your search, I kind of just piece together the software package, but in Legis, this is going to be able us to do a lot more, especially if we have, not so much in the city, but in the county where we have the whiskey barrel place, and the commissioners say, we want you to contact everyone within a 5-mile radius. That's pretty much impossible for us to do. This system will allow us to do that. Also, we have to start emailing things. The system will allow us to do that. It's just an update that we need. Storage we need desperately, because obviously we upload all our plans. We don't need paper copies anymore, so everything's uploaded, stored on the cloud, all our pictures. Like one case that have at least 15, 20 pictures. So it just takes a lot of storage. So your agreement with us right now has been $2,667 or $66.67. With the upgrade, and then Luis does have the fire package, so that's totally separate. You would be paying $1,000.83 more annually.
So you're asking the city council to increase their annual contribution for this software from $26.66.67 to $37.50.
Plus her fire pack, I didn't want to mislead that, but her fire package is $37.50 that you're already paying separate now. You write us a check and then we just write one check.
Is that for 27 or is it for starting now? As soon as we.
So they are going to allow us to go ahead and upgrade in October, give us 3 months free, and then it will be due in October of next year.
Next year?
Yeah. Okay. I'll pay this year's, because you already agreed to the 2,000, whatever it was, and then next year it'll be bumped up to this, but we'll already have the package this year. So they're very good to work with, and I've just been real happy with it. And we gotta have it to continue to do what we're doing.
Is this something that county uses and the city uses? Is that universal?
Yes.
So she has a
I think
login.
if we're going to increase the annual payment deposit.
Does the county pay half of this, or do they pay a portion?
So I budgeted $7,100 of it. And then there's an information or a fee that we have to pay to get the new updates, but I'll pay that. So this is, like I said, she has a fire package, that's on her own, we don't have anything to do with that, that's so she can do her building inspections. But this part is mainly for code enforcement.
Barry made a motion to approve the increase.
Yeah.
Matt seconds.
It was it 3,750, the new number?
What's the total annual now from the city with the
I'll have it
increase?
on here, Charlie, but it would be 7,500.
Between the our portion.
The fire's $37.50, and then in code enforcement and the commits $37.50.
Okay.
And I've got that spelled out on here.
Second was Pat.
Yeah, all in favor, show of hands, all opposed, that motion carries 5-0. Thanks, Marie.
Can I give you one more signing update?
Sure.
So I just want to let you know there's been a lot of questions about the Vernon building. There has been a contract signed with the new owner, and I can tell you this week I was contacted by someone who's going to be doing the demolition and was asking me about the permitting process. So I really look for something to happen in the next month or so.
Are they tearing it down? Or did I hear
They're
you say?
tearing it down and trying to save the facade. It's my understanding.
For safety reasons, when we get closer, it's probably going to be best to close this street out here for however many days they think we'll take them down. And obviously, we'll be in good contact, close contact with neighboring business owners, so we'll keep everybody abreast of what's going on. But good news.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan? Yes. You're next on the agenda. Council has in front of them your proposed agreement between the aviation commissioners and Butler, Fairmont, Seaford. If you would want just give council a brief update on what the board would like to see.
Yeah, so, while the agreement is new to you all, the intent of the agreement is not new. This is, an agreement between ourselves, the airport board, and our aviation engineers and their land department to, put together a package on what a proposed development might look like on the 224 acres on the west side of Betty Cole, between 350 and 450. And then also the old what was formerly known as Cotton Panther. So we now need that short term to the military, but back in 2019, they changed their lease. Like I said, the intent of this agreement is to try to get this one step closer to ready for potential commercial or industrial development. The first step happened way back in 2007 when the airport, we got that up to the tedious process of getting that released by the FAA for non-aeronautical use. In 2009, the city council voted to change the zoning from, I believe it was agriculture, or it may have been a special zone airport, but now it's all zoned industrial. And then, like I say, this is just consistent with our 20-year planning document and the city's comprehensive plan. I brought that to the mayor, and as he knows, we like to claim we're self-sufficient. We are in our day-to-day operations, but when it comes to larger capital improvement, things like this, we can always use a little help.
So what are you asking us for?
So the agreement is an hourly not to exceed $20,000.
You're asking that for us?
Yes, that would be the request that the city council would like to take up with that. During the process of this study, we would appoint a committee, probably myself, an airport board member of the TIF board, since the TIF obviously has a large interest in that property, capital. And probably, I didn't already say the member of the council, to kind of steer this. There's a scope of work on Exhibit A.
The long-term goal, of course, is for the airport to continue to be self-sufficient, and the board and Ryan and myself, I think we all agree that there are better financial uses for that property than farm ground, and so they just want to explore other opportunities similar to what they've done over at Vernon and Seymour. And to his point, the request would be the $20,000 to execute this contract, and that the council would pay for that out of their city improvement fund. Last balance was $360,000.
How much do you make off the farmland?
260 acres, the current contract rate.
260
It needs about 460 acres of farmland. So it's right there between that and fuel sales for our number one source of revenue annually. Obviously,
I mean, this, you're talking, after you get the study, you're talking 5 or 6 years down the road.
oh, who knows? This is not being done because we have somebody waiting in the wings to come grab up all 260 acres in the study. This is just a step in the process to get this ready for a potential commercial or industrial development.
Well, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and proceed with the $20,000 from our, what account was it? City improvement account.
Jack makes a motion to approve execution of the contract up to $20,000. Andrew seconds the motion. Any other questions for Ryan? If not, call for vote. All in favor, show of hands. All opposed, motion carries 5-0. And on behalf of the North Vernon Airport Mayor's Office, thank you for your continued
for your
support.
time and consideration.
Department head updates. Anything from the street department? Eric tonight? Elise, congratulations on your new software. Anything else you'd like to add? Keith?
We made it through the 4th of July, no major issues. Outside of that, we're kind of looking towards the start of school. We have in the past officers at each campus in town on the first day of school. We recently completed our emergency vehicle operation training for the year. We did that locally out on what we commonly refer to as the road to nowhere out by 8 a.m. So that's kind of where we're at.
Questions for Chief? Bobby?
Not a lot, kind of the same, similar how we started, we made it through the 4th of July, so we had another good event.
thankful that a lot of the police officers and firefighters that were there helping, obviously the community for showing up. A lot of positive things came from it. I don't know how many of you were there for the day. It was an interesting day. We got to finish it on the 5th, kind of because we finished a baseball game after the fireworks and rain delay and that sort of thing. But we got finished. It was kind of a cool story that those kids have brought up for a while. So, but yeah, so just sharing a little story there. That's it.
Questions for Bob? Comments? Okay. We'll open the floor to public comment. Yes, Jeff?
When are they gonna get some new stores in this town? And new factories?
I mean, what kind of store do you want? Maybe that's what we need to know.
JC Penney?
A JC Penney?
Well, Jeff, there's an opportunity that's gonna be coming available to buy a commercial, single site business. You can start yourself.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it says, if we need stores to get people to come in. And we pay the highest water bill around this town, except everywhere else.
Is that it? Anything else?
I know, what pays the bills?
We're almost there. Anything from the clerk's office? Yeah. Legal team? Council, any new business you'd like to talk about?
I do. It's over the last month or so, give or take, it's been brought to our attention that our employee policy has not had any maternity leave. So I know that I personally have done a lot of research, looking at other municipalities that may or may not have any kind of maternity leave allowances inside of their budget. And it varies. Most communities our size really don't have that. Some larger communities like Columbus and whatnot do. But I think it would be, I think it would be fair, and I'm prepared to make a motion to grant 2 weeks paid maternity leave. That's not a lot, and some people don't get any, but for us, the city, maybe trying to take a step forward. I propose 2 weeks of maternity leave paid, and it's a start, gives them something.
I don't suppose you know the ordinance number that is the employee handbook, so we'll just a motion to amend the employee handbook for up to, or for 2 weeks paid maternity leave.
Everything you just stated in ours, so I stated that in ours.
Yes, sir. Motion amended to 80 hours paid. Pat seconds the motion. Pat. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, would that be a change in the handbook or a change in the salary?
Probably both. That you mentioned that they're probably both.
For the mother and the father?
At this point, he said maternity leave.
Maternity leave.
Hey, we can get to paternity later, but tonight's motion was maternity, but thank you for the follow-up question.
Just clarifying it.
I'm taking it.
Okay, all in favor, show of hands. All opposed, that motion carries 5-0. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have approval of payroll claims for July the 3rd, 2026, in the amount of $223,847.72. Motion to approve payroll. Andrew makes the motion, Jared seconds. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries 5-0. And as you're reviewing these 3 dockets in the amount of $123,730.95, $15,704.99, $498,788.67. We have a motion to approve those 3 dockets and claims. Any significant numbers in there, Charlie?
41,000 in rent fee, 102,000 in debt payment, 183,000 because of the closing account, transferred the meter deposit account from German American to Home National Bank.
I'll make a motion to approve claims.
Vernon makes the motion to approve the claims presented. Andrew seconds the motion. All in favor, show of hands. Motion carries 5-0. And if there's no other business, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Sorry.
I have Chuck Carson. I think, did you want to?
Yeah, could I have a couple minutes?
He called me, wanted on the agenda, it's too late.
If I am, I can come back next week.
Come on up, Chuck.
We just assumed you were here with Ryan.
Well, but, no, I had a couple things. One, I'm an officer, I work in the homeless shelter, and we got a couple things we'd like to work on. One, we're not asking for money, but we're in the process of making a few changes outside and back. We've never had enough volunteers to man the place 24/7 to keep in-house. However, we thought if we would put some kind of structure over where the picnic tables are, just a roof, maybe a couple of places, and then add some of our cameras, and maybe if it's at your will, could we pipe it into the system like we do at the airport for security, and we'll afford them a porta potty at our expense, of course, and stuff like that. And that way we won't have to work through the process of it. And also, if we could the 24-hour surveillance that we have inside also be added.
I mean, I could reach out to our contact with our camera system and see what would be involved in doing that on your behalf.
I'll have a contact person that will be able to work with you on what their needs would be, if in fact we can do.
Yeah, if you so desire to have the police department with an extra set of eyes on your cameras, I think would be
precisely what we'd like to have, because I'm sure it'll never come to the point where we have 24-hour people there.
Yeah.
And that's just a brief thing I started bringing attention. If you'd like to see us try this, it would help hopefully eliminate some of the traffic at the city park that you're seeing from our residents. And that would be the goal of our program. And also, as well as the residents we have there, if there's other people that like to utilize the space throughout the day, sure we'd be happy to try and accommodate. Gosh, I might be buying some games and stuff.
Is that, are you okay with that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, you know.
Yeah, well,
that's all I got.
Very good. We'll help where we can. Thank you, Jeff.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
And now we're going to entertain a motion motion to adjourn. Andrew makes the motion to adjourn.
I'm enjoying these. I think this is nice. Jeff, do you have anything else to say?
No.
You're good? All right.
All in favor? I ain't been here.
Jeff, we already closed this. We can't talk no more. Did we vote, Sean? Yeah.
I vote.
I vote.
Meeting's adjourned, 7:18.